What's up? Welcome to Something Like That with NAV. A beautiful day, an exciting day indeed, where the gods of gadgets are trying their level best to just ruin my day. But hey, that's not going to stop me, man. Not going to stop me because I've been waiting for quite a while now to have this particular band, especially the vocalist for this band, to come on board the show. I've been waiting for a very long time. Finally, I'm lucky enough to have her and her bandmate who will be joining in halfway through. They have the coolest band name in town. Trust me, this is one of the best band names you're going to hear on this particular podcast. It is none other than, I gotta say that, I gotta get the right tone for it, man. Billie Blue and the Nowhere Man. Nowhere Man. Come on, Billy. Did I get that right? I got it right, right?
Yes, that's correct. Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure to have you guys on board. I have you especially on board. It's one of the definitely. Has anyone ever told you that you have the coolest band name?
Well, maybe one or two people have told me
Only
before.
one or two? Only one or two? It's the best thing that I've ever heard. The very first time, that was a while back, I've seen your name on a poster, and I was like, okay, did I get this right? Is it the name of an album, a movie, or something? And then it's like, no, they're performing here tonight. It's like, okay. That's the very first time I saw you guys, and of course, it was mind-blowing indeed. It was amazing watching you guys perform on stage.
Thank you.
You have the whole package, the kind of music that I enjoy, the kind of performance that I enjoy, because like, for the benefit of our listeners right now, if you're a fan of old school rock, classic rock, and then you have the new school flavor in it, and all the other elements that comes in between, you put them all together, okay, not only for audio, it's also on visual, you get Billie Blue and the Nowhere Man. Did I describe the band right?
I think that's a pretty apt description, actually. Yeah, that's a very, very good way to describe us.
It's awesome, man. It's nice to have a chat with you. And but I have to clear this down. The word "Nowhere Man," is that from the Beatles song?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
When I was little, the first band that I ever fell in love with was the Beatles. And
Nice.
for my 6th birthday, my parents got me the One album with like all of their hits. And I was obsessed with that. And then Yellow Submarine, they got me that too eventually. And that was my favorite movie for a long time. And the great thing about a film like Yellow Submarine is that when you're little, you're just attracted by all the colors and the fancy pictures, and that was so exciting to me, and the music. But now as an older person, I can understand it a little bit better from a different perspective, and that's great. It's
I
a
like
film
your
that really
parents
sticks
very
to you.
much. I really like your parents. You gave you Beatles CD for your birthday when you were young.
Well, they
That's
did that because at some point, maybe when I was 5 or something, I think I watched A Hard Day's Night. My parents let me watch a lot of movies with them. So we watched A Hard Day's Night, and Help. And I fell in love with Ringo Starr for some reason.
among all guys.
I know, that's what everyone would always say. Like, really, of all of the Beatles, you were into Ringo Starr. But yep,
I mean,
me as a little kid, it was Ringo Starr.
okay, George Harrison, okay, Lennon, oh, definitely. McCartney, okay, but Ringo, you
Yeah,
have
you'd think.
pretty unique taste.
Yeah, I think my taste has improved.
Or maybe at that particular age, Ringo looked like one of those characters you find in Sesame Street back then. I don't know, I'm just guessing it.
It must have been
That
his
attracted
nose or
children?
something that I was really into. But hey, I mean, he is a member of the Beatles. You can't
Yeah.
knock that.
Yes, that's true. Usually the drummer doesn't get much attention, but he actually got it.
See, I'm always, giving attention to the underdogs.
Oh, sweet. How sweet of you. But of course, Billie Blue itself, that is your name, right? Billie Blue
That is my
Blackstone?
name. Yes, that is
Okay,
my name.
Nice. Okay, so that I got that part clear.
I think you like my
because-
parents a little bit more now, don't
Oh,
you?
yes, I love everything about your parents because I know they are the ones who actually took you to gigs, to shows at a very young age.
Absolutely,
how-
yes.
Super cool parents. My parents wouldn't even let me listen to the radio. And you had parents taking you at a very young age to what, clubs, gigs, and so on?
Yeah, because my mom is a musician, is and was a musician and a visual artist. The painting
Okay.
behind me, you can't really see it, but the painting behind me is one of hers.
Nice. Nice. Wow.
Yeah. So my mom was very actively performing when I was a kid, and my parents didn't really trust like leaving me alone with a babysitter at home. So what they usually would do is hire a babysitter to come along to the gig, and the babysitter would hang out with me, and I would get to watch the show too. But if I wanted to go and play somewhere else, I could do that as well because I had adult supervision. But
Oh,
that definitely was a big reason why my interest in music, was cultivated at such a young age. And it's not just music, but the whole lifestyle surrounding music. That
nice.
I think I got into that since the time I was very young.
I could imagine that. But the thing is, when you say visiting yeah, gigs and so on at a very young age, I'm guessing that wasn't in Malaysia because you were born in Japan, right?
Yes. Oh,
Okay, you're born in Japan, and
you know things.
yeah, yeah, a little bit here and there. So, was it like how until what age were you in Japan before you moved out to Singapore and other parts?
I lived in Japan until I was 12 years old.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this gig and club thing, your babysitter thing that happened in Japan?
That was mainly in Japan, yeah. Pretty much
Ah,
mostly in Japan. Sometimes when we would come and visit Malaysia, we usually would come at least once a year, probably usually during the winter because we wanted to escape the cold. So then my mom would play shows over here as well at places like No Black Tie and some other clubs that were around back then that I don't quite
okay.
remember the names of, but yeah. But No Black Tie, I remember that really well because I remember even going to the old No Black Tie and playing with like all these corks that they had.
That
I
was a
vaguely
while
remember
back.
yeah, that was a long time ago. I was really young, but I remember that. I remember being there and my mom sound checking. And that's why it was really exciting when our band BBTNM first played at No Black Tie, because I was like, it's coming full
Ah,
circle.
oh, nice. Yeah, now I feel
Yeah.
extremely old right now because when you talk about the old black tie, no black tie, and the present one, I was actually there, and not as a kid. So now I feel extremely old having this conversation. It's been a while because, like I said, no black tie. It's only certain people or certain age or certain people who like the specific kind of music will know no black tie. Now, it's not something that everybody
Mm-hmm.
knows. And you were there. Nice, very nice. Thank you, no black tie. Thank you very much. It's because of that I'm having this conversation with Billy. But the thing is, this: how did the whole band start off? Because I know you weren't exactly a very open person. You're a shy but teenager and being in gigs and so on, you didn't actually start singing that early, right?
No, I didn't. Yeah, it was very weird as a teen, and I think it comes from the fact that I grew up always being the outsider. Because when I was in Japan, I was the only Japanese school in my sorry, I was the only Japanese kid in my kindergarten. I was the only Japanese kid in my primary school. Yeah, and sorry, I was the only non-Japanese kid.
Okay, I
I'm
was a bit
sorry, that
confused right
kid.
here for a second. I was like,
You
okay, did
see,
I
I
miss
told
something out here?
no, you see, I told you that I haven't interacted with humans for a while, so I've forgotten how to talk. This is what happens. Anyway,
Who am
let
I?
me
Who
let
am
me
I?
start that whole thing all over again. So
Okay, sure.
I was the only foreign kid in the Japanese school and the
Okay,
only
okay.
foreign kid in the Japanese kindergarten. So from a very young age, I was very aware of being an alien, of being different and wanting to assimilate. And so on the one hand, I was actually very like chatty. I was very confident around adults. Even when I was a kid, I always got to hang out with adults, so I had no problem talking to adults, unlike a lot of my friends who would come over to my house and they'd be like really scared to speak to my parents. But then when I would go to their houses, I would be like best friends with their mom or whatever.
Ooh.
So on the one hand, I was like that. But on the other hand, as a teen, trying to go through all the, you know, identity crisis that comes with crises that come with being a teenager, and then like going through the changes of puberty. I was just like a complete mess. And things like singing, I liked it, but I just couldn't imagine really doing it in front of people. I was just too self-conscious. You know, it's like that conflict of like, you want to present yourself in a certain way, but you're also afraid of being rejected. So like, because I internalized that at a very young age. So as a teenager, I was just like, I kind of knew where my interests were. I kind of knew what I was interested in, but I didn't really know how to express myself comfortably. So
But
it was,
of course, I mean, having parents who's been performers and you checking them out for a very long time, I'm pretty sure at some point of some part of your head or your mind would have that feeling that you would want a bit of attention too, right?
yeah. So it was that sense of like, you want attention in that way as well, and you're interested in that, but you are too afraid to kind of go for it. That's kind of what I was dealing with at that age. Yeah.
Okay, but how,
Yeah.
when, and where did the transformation take place from that quiet little shy girl to
Like, I wasn't
the
quiet.
rocker?
I wasn't
all right.
quiet. I was just shy. Yeah, I was just shy. So the change happened when I moved to KL. Yeah, that happened when I moved to KL. I think that was kind of like a pivotal moment for me, because I was leaving high school behind. And on the one hand, I was like really upset to leave high school, because I actually, despite everything, made some really, really good friends who are still my friends, some of my best friends today, and awesome group of girls. And so I was really sad to leave them behind. But like on the other hand, I was like entering a new world where I could do so many things that I couldn't do before, because I didn't really like school when I was in Singapore. I didn't really like the stresses of like that kind of like rigid school system, because I was in a local school. And coming to KL, I got to, you know, explore things that I hadn't had the opportunity to before. And it was very freeing. And my mom really encouraged me to like come along with her when she would go for like jam sessions and stuff with her blues otai friends.
Nice.
So she would bring me along, and eventually when they got wind of the fact that like I was learning to play guitar and I was, you know, singing, they would invite me to jam with them on stage. So I like, unlike a lot of people in the indie scene who kind of honed their chops through open micing, I did that through jam sessions in the blues scene with people who were my mom's age and older.
Oh, you were advanced. You took it several notches higher than usual people do then, in clubs, right?
I don't know. I think it was just a different path. Yeah, okay. That's what I did. And after that, my mom encouraged me to sing more in public, you know, to not be shy. I remember she had a couple friends who were hosting an open mic at the warehouse. And we went over one night and there weren't many people there. And they were like, Billie, sing a song. So I sang. I was kneeling because I was, you know, my legs were shaking. I didn't want to stand. So I was kneeling and singing. And there were like 4 people, including my mom, in the audience. But, you know, that, you know, helped. That was a turning point for me. And look at me now.
Nice. Do you remember the first song that you sang?
Yes, it was Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show. I used to sing that one a lot.
Ooh, you have a very unique taste in music. I guess David is on board right now. Can I bring him in?
He?
Shall I bring him in?
Yes.
David, come on board, man. How are you, dude?
Nice. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm late.
Hi, David.
No worries. After work?
Yeah, straight from work and then back home.
Okay. How's the traffic? Was it good?
Yeah, no, I mean 10 p.m. at night. It's quite clear, lah. Smooth all the way.
Okay. Well, just talking with Billie about how she started off the whole thing. We're about to move on to the transition from just Billie Blue to Billie Blue Blackstone to Billie Blue and the Nowhere Man. So continue. Let's have Billie finish the story up, and then I'm going to get back to you because I need to find out something about this whole band. It's something different. I'll tell you about that in a bit. So Billie, from there, how did the transition move on to forming your full-fledged band?
Well, when I met Soheil back in 2012, late 2012, early 2013, you know, he was a young fellow who could play guitar, and I was a young chick who could sing. And then, you know, we hit it off, and we started. We wanted to, you know, perform together. So at first, we did a couple like duo shows, but very quickly we realized that we wanted a fuller sound. And Soheil and I, for a long time, like our music taste, it was really aligned. So, I mean, he definitely introduced some bands to me. I introduced some bands to him as well. So, I mean, it wasn't 100% the same, but it was very, very similar. And the kind of music we wanted to make was also quite similar. And I think because we believed in each other a lot at the time, we worked together really well. And yeah, so it was us first, and then we met Reuben, and then we met David.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You are from Japan. I mean, let's say originally from Japan. Soheil is from Tehran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Reuben is from KL. David, where are you from? Are you from KL or another part of the world?
I was born in PJ, man.
Okay, good. Okay, because this is want to check.
Another part of the world.
Because if you had another few more members from different parts of the world, you can start creating your We Are the World album, man. It's a nice, diverse band.
United Nations.
United Nations. That's how it is. But how long has the Billie Blue and the Nowhere band kicked off? When exactly did this happen?
Well, the original lineup, which did not include Reuben and David, I think that was in 2014 maybe, but we only played like a couple of shows. And then I think, see, this is where I feel like I'm getting old because I can't remember numbers or do math. I think we met Reuben in 2015 or 2016. And then David, you joined us in 2017? Yeah. Was it? Yeah, 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Were you with any other bands before this, David?
Yeah, I actually, I'm still with another band called Kaya.
Okay. That explains it. That explains because I knew it looked familiar for a second. I didn't get the full name. Okay.
Kaya and what we got? We got an offer to play at this festival. It was called Puteh, Billy. What's it called? Puteh?
Puas.
Sorry, Puas Fest. Yeah, at this area that was called Puteh, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kaya was playing there, and then Billie Blue was also lined up to play lah. They were one of the acts. Yep. And then I think what y'all saw me playing bass, and then like a few weeks later,
we saw you. We had heart eyes and all that.
And they did fishing.
Yeah. So the guy,
Billy got in touch.
One of us.
And then the first gig to play was at No Black Tie, and it was like, oh damn.
Oh yeah, that was the first gig we did together. Yeah.
I mean, there was quite a high standard to perform for this gig, but that was the start.
And also I think because at the time the bassist we were playing with was leaving because he wanted to session more. Then when we met David, at first we were like, okay, let's we still were looking around, so we were like, okay, let's do a show together and see how it goes. And then we had a lot of fun.
Nice.
So then we just stuck with David.
Nice. That's a nice way. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and voila, you get the full band.
I
But
think
of
it's
course,
exactly that, man. Yeah.
come again?
Sorry.
It's exactly that. Like I was at the right place at the right time.
Exactly. Nice. Destiny, man. Destiny. Destiny. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
we can
good.
hear you.
Because this is, like I said earlier, today the gods of gadgets are just messing with me. I accidentally touched one wrong wire and everything's going haywire. Excuse me. This is so embarrassing for my podcast. It just happens, man. So I just left you guys for what 30 seconds and you started talking about sardine sambal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked me if I had eaten, so
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry,
was
how rude of
sharing.
me. I didn't ask you guys that before coming on the show.
Do you think is that like a very Asian thing to ask?
Yeah.
Have you eaten? I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, right?
even that we don't care that whether you ate or not, it's just we have to ask.
Yeah.
Hey, dah makan? Oh, yes. Eat already? Okay, yes.
Mm.
It's a Malaysian thing. I don't know about Asian, but it's a Malaysian thing.
Definitely Malaysian. It's passed down
Yeah.
from our grandparents and all that.
Yeah,
Because
because
that's what they always ask us.
Even if your answer was no, they was like, oh, okay, then you just move on.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Exactly.
okay, do you want something to eat or shall we go eat? It's nothing like that. Okay, but sorry, I'm just getting all over the place right now. From before we get into the sardine sambal again, it's just like we're talking about the band getting together. But writing your original materials, when did that happen?
That happened in 2016. Yeah, so
Okay.
2016 was when we started writing originals. So again, as I told you, as I was talking about before, growing up, I really was interested in music, but I never really saw myself doing it just because I was so like self-conscious about the whole thing. And like it took a few kicks in the butt from my mom to like even start singing in public. So it was kind of similar with writing too, because I've pretty much always been writing. I used to, I've kept a diary since I was 13.
Ooh.
And of course, now as an adult, I have responsibilities and I don't write as often as I used to, although I still have a diary. But yeah, so I've always been writing. But when it came to writing music, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to write music. Like, how do you write lyrics? I was like overthinking it like crazy. But then we were booked to play at Indie Penang, that festival. And we were super excited and we knew we had to do a full set of originals. So that is what kind of gave us that shove to like just stop, getting in your head and just write. So that's when we started writing.
But
yeah.
you write poetry, right? So that shouldn't be a problem for you.
I do, but poetry is a recent thing as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I mostly wrote stories. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was my thing. I was writing stories either about my own life or about fictional characters' lives.
Hence the reason why you have another job called teaching.
Mhm.
How about you, David?
Exactly.
What is it that you do? I mean, apart from being in the band,
I was actually doing live music, just performing as a bassist for a good 3 to 4 years, and then the pandemic happened. So like I had to find something to do, and then actually the guitarist Soheil, he actually like told me there was an opening in this music center that he was working. Yeah. So I applied, and then now I'm there with him actually.
oh, so a bit of bonding time with the guitarist and the bassist, lah.
Yeah.
How
Who knows
mean
what
of
they
you
get
guys.
up to?
Yeah, you just abandon the lady behind. You guys are having a good time at work, and then you just leave Billy all by yourself.
Isn't
And
that
Ben,
the plight of being a woman?
That's sad. But Ben is busy with his food, right? Ben has a catering business. Is it still on?
Reuben?
Yeah.
Reuben, yeah.
Yes. I think he still does it, and he's in the food business lah. That's
He's
for
an
sure.
F&B, yeah. He's doing a lot of like management now, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's
So
busy.
you have two different lives. That's pretty interesting. And
Yeah.
that's kind of nice also. But, I mean, for this past 1 year, how's it been?
Billy? Me? It's been tough. I mean, that's what we are so used to, right? Like I used to be performing almost every weekend. Uh, and then to lose that for a year, it was like wow, complete like restart. But I guess like it puts you in a spot to like to hustle and like to find something to do to just keep going, you know?
But as
Mm,
for musicians, especially as
mhm.
yourselves, the band itself, times like these are a good time for you to come up with new stuff, be more creative, explore different avenues or different styles, or coming up with new materials. Usually that happens during the break time because in your usual daily life you don't think about it. But during this particular time when you have all the time you need at home or whatever wherever you are, you get to, how do I put it, reinvent yourself or rather to try out some new things. Have you guys actually tried that?
I think we've done that, but more individually. Yeah,
Yeah.
more individually. Like last year was when I really got into writing poetry.
Ah,
And I
and
also
David,
started drawing a bit more. Okay, sorry.
sorry, Karen, really.
I
Like for
know.
me, I
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay. No, I was just saying I started drawing a bit more as well, but yeah,
Mm,
that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
nice.
see my drawings, yeah. It's good.
Thank you.
For me, I've just been concentrating more on my bass, just practicing more, that's for sure. Uh making music, I'm not so sure about that, but I'm just trying to improve myself more lah on the bass.
Okay, cool,
Well, the
cool.
thing
But
is, I sorry. No,
no, no,
I
don't
was
worry,
just
Karen.
I was just gonna say that I think whatever we've been doing is developing ourselves
Yeah,
personally, and
yeah,
all of that will be very beneficial when we sit down and decide to write music together. Like, again, yeah,
yeah.
because poetry is really similar to songwriting. I mean, at least lyric writing, and I do have plans to turn some of my poems into songs, and yeah, and obviously developing yourself on your instrument is very important when you start writing again, because you will be able to introduce new things to songwriting that maybe you wouldn't have considered before, just because you've developed your ear or your technique in a different way.
Okay, but the
Yeah.
thing is, what I need to know is at some point in time, a while back, that you mentioned that your music actually is inspired by literature, mythologies. Let's see, what else? They say present and past events. You also
Hmm.
had human emotions. Those are the
Hmm.
kind of things inspired your writing process, or rather, you're
Hmm.
focusing on that. Has that changed?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think what you brought up is quite broad already, and so we're still like swimming in that ocean, but yeah, there's an infinite number of things you can pick from there to write about. Those are all very general things: literature, emotions, passive present events. Those are all very general. So
Okay,
yeah.
if that's the case, let's break it down right now for your three
Okay.
songs that was released before. You had Empire, you had
Emperor.
Emperor. Sorry, pardon me, Emperor. Then you had Red Corduroy. So these tracks, what were they all about?
David, do you want to answer that?
Help me
I
out,
just
because
I
like,
just
see, before finding out about what inspired you guys, I was just listening to it as just a track. It's like,
Mm.
okay, nothing, no details, nothing, no investigation going on before I really looked into the track. But right now, after finding out, now I'm curious to know what exactly was the song all about.
So, which song are we starting with?
Let's start off with Emperor.
Okay. David, don't look like that. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, Emperor. Emperor was, I guess, kind of. I mean, we wrote that in what, 2016? How old was I in 2016? 21? Yeah, 21. So it
Gosh,
was
I feel
like,
so old right now.
so it was basically, lyrically, it was a very young person's exploration to exploration in like the political, but without being too specific. So at the time I was reading some like Robert Graves, who wrote I, Claudius. And we were also big into Game of Thrones at the time. And one of the things that I remember thinking was, while reading, I, Claudius, which, is set during the Roman Empire and is, historical fiction. When I was reading that, I was like, all of this sounds so familiar. First of all, everything sounds like it could be a plot for a TV show, but also it sounds like exactly what's going on in politics today, whether we're looking at the United States or we're looking at Malaysia. The overarching themes are similar, and they're repetitive. I used to always say the song remains the same because I'm a Led Zeppelin fan. But, it's true. So that was my inspiration for it lyrically speaking. That was my inspiration for it. And I like the opening line for Emperor is "So long till the emperor finds gold," because the idea is that, when we're always chasing the next best thing, whether it's regular people or emperors or politicians, it's never enough. You're never actually satisfied. When you're looking for gold, you will never really attain it, because once you've attained it, there's another thing to try to pursue.
There's always more.
There's always something more.
Nice. Now that makes me want to listen to the track again and again. Just go through it all over again. And how about Red Corduroy?
Red Corduroy. Well, to be frank, in the past, I used to kind of shy away from talking about this song because it's not very deep. Okay. And it's not very deep. But the song is basically just about like a good time when you meet someone new. Okay. Yeah. So having a good time when you meet someone new, and that kind of spark, but also tentativeness when you kind of make a connection with a new person. Yeah. So that's kind of what it was inspired by. And funnily enough, when I wrote that, I was very much deep in a committed relationship, but I still kind of was exploring that through songwriting. Yeah, that idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, if you want to know where the title Red Corduroy came from, I'm just going to say it. I used to not like to say it because I thought it was stupid, and maybe it kind of is, but I bought a red corduroy skirt that I felt like I looked amazing in it at the time. Now it's really old and it's a bit tight for me, so I can't really wear it anymore. But at the time, I was like, I look hot in this, and then that's when my brain started to like spiral and think about like, ooh, all these other
just like you songwriters.
Imagine
really
this.
like you songwriters. you just get us thinking something else, but it means something else on the other side. So I thought it was something else happening for that particular title, and now you tell me it's a skirt. Thank you.
Okay, well, we don't need to focus so much on the fact that it was a skirt, but that's where you're just finding out this. Yeah, you see, I don't talk about these sides of myself.
See, things that many out there wouldn't have known about it. It is a great song. It is an awesome song. I kind of like the music video for that particular track. And it's also available on Spotify. It's also on YouTube, so you can check that out. So make sure to do that. But you are coming out with you guys are coming out with a brand new track called Old Friend, right? When is that happening?
So that will be released on the 16th of April.
That's next week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
1 week from now.
Nice. And please enlighten us about that song. What is that all about?
Well, that one.
Who's involved in the track?
There are no garments of clothing. There are no garments of clothing involved in the making of this track, thankfully. Well, actually, this song, lyrically, it's the one I'm most proud of because it was the first time I think I really touched vulnerability in my lyrics, because I had always kind of shied away from that, with songs like Emperor or Red Corduroy. Like, they were I mean, they were fun, but like, and I guess Emperor also has some depth to it, but like, it wasn't, I wasn't being vulnerable, you know, it didn't have anything to do with my own personal feelings.
Okay.
But Old Friend, I wrote it, I mean, I wrote the lyrics, basically, I was thinking about, because I tend to, at periods of my life, like enter really negative headspaces where, you know, I wouldn't go so far as to call it depression, but something akin to that. And especially when I was a teen, that was really prevalent. I would just get into like really damaging headspaces, and I would revisit those same thoughts and same feelings at different stages in my life. So those feelings would evolve, you know, as I grew older, but they were very familiar and very comforting. And that's why I felt like it was like an old friend. Every time I would revisit those feelings and get back into this headspace, I'm like, yep. I mean, on the one hand, it sucks, but on the other hand, you kind of revel in it. You kind of revel in your misery, and you're just like, I'm miserable in bed, like just lying with my tears, or like, you know, whatever. You're just like, and kind of part of you is like enjoying the misery. So it was that familiarity
I'm feeling a little
that
scared
I
right
was
now.
writing about.
I'm just feeling a little scared right now.
I think we all go through these things.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need to be in that zone, that one particular zone that's your emotional state, and how you feel. That's nobody can understand about it. People can talk about it, but no one can understand that feeling. So
and think about it, when you're feeling really vulnerable or really hurt or whatever, or you're saying damaging things to yourself, you know, your internal monologue or whatever, and you listen to music and you listen to a song that describes exactly how you feel, or a song that soothes your feelings, it's very comforting. So that whole cycle of like listening to music or feeling upset, feeling like crap, and you know, not wanting to get out of bed or whatever, or like talking to your friends and bitching about how horrible you feel, all of that, there's a sense of comfort in it. So that's where the inspiration for Old Friend came from. So when I first wrote the lyrics to Old Friend, I wasn't thinking about a specific person. I was thinking about that feeling. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Now that's gonna make me want to listen to the track. I'm looking forward for that next week, right? 16th.
Yeah.
16th. That's the date.
Dude, and we do have a lyric video coming out too, so then you'll be able to read the lyrics. Yeah.
David, do you actually go into that zone? Do you have that kind of that feeling, that sentiment?
I mean, I'm sure we all do, right? I mean, I do go through it. Maybe not very often, I would say, but if ever I go through that, I just try to think of how to be grateful. I guess that's what pulls me out of it. Just how to be thankful for the position I'm in and all that. Even though things are hard, but you know, I just try to put a positive mindset, lah, I guess.
Nice. That's very nice. And of course, since the song is going to be out, and hopefully we get to see you guys perform live on stage, because it's been a while. It's been a very long time. It's been almost a year.
More than a year.
More than a year. Yeah, time seems to be flying very much. But the last show that you guys did, was it locally, or was it? I believe that you guys went to Mumbai or something, or you were supposed to.
We went to India.
India.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How was it like performing in India?
We went to 3 cities: Bangalore, Goa, and Chennai. We ended our trip in Chennai. It was great. It was a 10-day tour. We call it an international tour. So we were invited to play at Chennai's. The university was having a festival.
Yes, we were invited to perform at Sarang Music Festival, or Sarang World Festival in IIT Chennai, and in IIT Chennai, and that is what kind of kickstarted our whole India tour, because when we were invited, we were very excited, and we were like, if we're going to go all the way to India, we have to, you know, book a few more shows and make a tour out of it. So that's what
Nice.
happened.
And how's the
Yeah.
response like? I mean, for them, like watching a Malaysian band perform, how was that? How was the response like?
I don't want to be, I don't want to sound like a douche or asshole, but I feel like more appreciative. I don't know whether it's because we were foreign or, but the feedback that we got was really very warm and welcoming.
Hmm.
No, because
Yeah, it was awesome, I would say.
the reason why I'm asking you this is because I've asked this question of a couple of the bands before who've actually performed in India, and they said it is a different feel, especially not only in Malaysia but any part outside of Malaysia. The response, the appreciation level seems to be a bit different, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. We
Mhm.
felt that for sure. Like we got followers through social media, and then we even got invited back recently to do an online show.
Oh,
So,
Actually, two online
yeah.
shows.
Where were they,
For
Billy?
they were two different university festivals. So one was UNMAD Festival. It was organized by IIM in not right now. It's in Bangalore. Yeah, Bangalore.
Okay.
IIM Bangalore. And then the second was Alcharinga Festival, which was organized by IIT Guwahati.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
I can't believe I remember that.
Well, it must be a good memory. Must be a very good memory for you to remember that.
Sometimes, sometimes my memory serves me really well, and sometimes I can't remember, what I ate in the morning for breakfast. So it's a
But any-
toss-up.
No? Any plans so far? Any ideas? Any sneak peek for your fans out there? Is like for any upcoming shows in the next couple of weeks, months, perhaps?
And well, the thing is, like I mentioned to you earlier, things are still very uncertain right now, and so we're trying to like iron out all those uncertainties before we can announce any shows. But yeah, definitely, I mean, we hope to do something very soon. I know I'm very impatient to perform. I really want to get back on stage. I don't feel like a human if I don't perform. Because
6 months more, a year more. Trust me, we all
I
will feel the
know.
same.
Yeah, musicians, I mean, we're all hams, right? At the end of the day, we love attention. So we're all starved for attention.
can
But
just
also, apart
imagine.
from that,
I'm just
apart
trying
from
to
that,
imagine you guys on stage for your very first show. It's going to be a blast.
we'll probably our heads will explode off of it. Yeah.
But are you
Yeah.
guys doing? I mean, you just mentioned a moment ago you did some online shows for the friends in India. But over here, did you guys do anything, or you have plans of doing anything? Because it seems to be a trend these days on online shows.
Yeah, we did. We did do a couple online shows. We did one for Mercy Malaysia last year. And what else did we do? I feel like we did another one, but I don't remember right now. Yeah.
But do you enjoy doing online shows?
David, what do you think?
No, but I'll be very honest with you because I need to know this. Reason being is like, I mean, there's pros and cons to it. It's like, yes, you get to interact with your fans, keep the music going, keep it alive. That's one thing. But for people who's been on stage, who've been rocking it big time, the energy, the feel, the vibe, it's totally different when you're doing it just in front of a camera with just your band members. It's like recording a song.
The question is exactly that. Yeah, it is completely different. Like it's like 50% of what a live show would be, lah. Because 50% is the audience, man. We need the audience.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not discouraging. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or so. But the thing is, I've noticed that some bands, I'm not going to mention who, I mean, some bands are getting a little comfortable with an idea. It's like, when you do it on a regular basis, you're doing it online, you just get too comfortable with the idea. So you don't really, I don't know, you just don't show the actual talent, on screen. So I don't know. I just feel that it should just slow down a little more right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it depends on the kind of band you are, but definitely for us, I mean, we are we are live. What did you say?
We are a live show band.
We are a live show band. That's where we feel the most comfortable, the most in our element, you know. And it doesn't mean that we don't like, you know, recording, or we don't like doing other sorts of things. Like, remember when we did Rojak sessions right after we released our album, when we did that live stream show? That was actually really fun, but that was like really good production, very, very wonderful team that we worked with at Rojak Sessions. And that was quite exciting. But I would say, like, the shows that we've done during lockdown, it was great just to be doing something, you know. It's like, oh, you know, we're doing something and we're connecting with the fans or whatever. But really, apart beyond that, and I don't want to sound cynical, and the thing is, sometimes I feel like as performers we're kind of expected to just give PR answers to everything, but
No, not on this show.
But I mean, can't we have gripes about things? It doesn't mean like we're not going to do it. You know?
I told you before the show, I said, go ahead, unleash everything.
Yeah, it's really not as fun. It's really not as fun doing a pre-recorded video, you know. It's just the energy isn't there, and yeah, like David said, the audience is 50% of it, you know. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man, I know.
that the sense of spontaneity isn't there as well.
I can imagine, but I'm just hoping for it to this whole thing to be over as soon as possible. But the good news is, I think now performance is allowed. It's just a matter of time before seeing you guys on stage. I'm so looking forward for that. I'm definitely looking forward for your track, Old Friend, which will be coming out on the 16th of April, available on all streaming platforms, right? Spotify, YouTube, you name it, you can have it, right?
Oh, yes, and also you can pre-save the song now. So actually, if you go to the link in our bio on Instagram at BBTNM Band, or mine, Billie Azalea, if you go there, you can. There's a link, and you can pre-save the song, on whatever platform you like to listen on. Yeah.
Please do. And before I wrap it up, of course, for the benefit of our listeners, whichever part of the world are you from, well, feel free to subscribe to their YouTube channel, Spotify channel. Okay, Spotify, you subscribe or you just follow? Which one is it? I can't remember.
If you're subscribed to Spotify, you can follow us.
Okay, follow. Okay, Spotify is follow. YouTube is subscribe, right?
But like our songs. Like our songs.
Like the songs.
Like the
subscribe.
song on Spotify.
Okay, these are the 3 words. Subscribe, like, follow. Use it wherever
and share.
applicable.
And
share. That's another one. Am I missing out anything here?
Click the heart on Spotify, the heart symbol.
The heart, the heart.
Oh, okay. So you got the heart, you got the share, you got the like, you got the subscribe. What else did I miss again? Yeah.
I don't know, tweet about us or something.
Okay, it's going to be a long list of things. So whatever terms that you use on social media, please use it wherever applicable when it comes to Billie Blue and the Nowhere Man. You see the name anywhere on the internet, just do whatever, one of those 5 or one of those 6 things. And please, like I said, share. Sharing is the most important thing.
Just to say, because people sometimes get it wrong, men is plural, yeah? It's Billie Blue and the Nowhere Men, not Nowhere Man. Because a lot of people get that wrong.
When you say it fast, you just miss it out, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so the short form for that, the acronym was
BBTNM.
Okay.
BBTNM.
It's late and I'm running out of coffee right now. I'll try to memorize that as soon as possible. So do check them out. Follow them on their social media page. They're available on Instagram. They're available on, Facebook. They are also on YouTube, Spotify, any other platform?
Twitter. Yeah,
yes,
now we have Twitter.
Okay, follow them there. Anywhere else?
No, not yet. We don't have TikTok yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, that seems to be. Please don't.
Yeah, we haven't gone on that yet.
Yeah, don't. It's addictive.
See, we're a little bit too old, I think. You know.
No, trust
Millennial.
me. Trust me. If you're millennials, what am I? Old, if you're gonna consider yourself
I don't know. I guess that's the mystery of this podcast.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys. It's been a great pleasure having you on board. I've been looking forward for this for a very long time, and finally get to check you guys out. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the very first time I saw you guys were, I think it was in Publica. Yeah,
Nah.
Oh,
sometime back,
okay.
and this was my exact reaction when the first time I saw you guys. I was in the bar having my drink, and the moment I heard the band playing, stopped drinking, stared at the band for a good 30 seconds without
Nice.
moving. You guys were awesome.
Aw,
And I
thank
just stopped. I
you.
literally stopped and just turned around and looked like, oh boy. And that's it. Now it didn't take my eyes off you guys for the entire show. It was amazing. And I sadly enough that I had been missing out on a couple of your shows, and I'm definitely looking forward for more to come. This time I
Thank
promise you I'll
you.
be there.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so
appreciate
much. Thank you so much for coming on board. Remember, if you are listening to this podcast, please do share it, like it, follow them on social media, and be on the lookout for their brand new track called Old Friend coming out next week. Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere applicable. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And before we say adios, is there anything you'd like to share? Any last words?
Yeah, just follow us and listen to good music.
Yeah, keep supporting local music and,
Yeah.
smaller talents. Help us
Nice.
grow.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to wrap it up right here. And as for my show, something like that with NAV, oh, yeah, please like and subscribe. Do that too. I know you got to follow these guys. Try to follow me occasionally. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, it is. It was awesome.
Good.